Hey, what's up everyone? In this quick video, I want to talk about my simple creative workflow using the app Notion. Notion is an app that allows you to bring all of your creative workflow processes into one central hub. It's really changed the game for me and a lot of other people when it comes to your ability to organize your thoughts in creative workflow. I'm gonna show you the process that I've set up for myself that's allowing me to get rid of distraction and enter the flow state of creativity even faster. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you do is head over to notion.so. Go ahead and click on Try Notion Free, sign up for an account, and then download the app here. All right, so after you download Notion, you're gonna have this default getting started screen with some preloaded pages that the software puts in there for you. What I like to do is start from a totally blank canvas instead of trying to build my systems on top of, kind of the default settings. I think this is a really good tip on just getting unstuck in life. We can spend a lot of time trying to make our thoughts and ideas fit into these other boxes instead of just trusting our own tuition and building our own systems for organization. So the first thing I would recommend is just coming in here and deleting all of these and just getting down to a blank canvas. So we're just going to go delete, and now we're deleting the last one. And then we'll add back a page. So we have this untitled blank page. All right, so now that we have this blank canvas, I just want to give you a really quick rundown of how this works. So if you go into this field here where it says type / for commands, you start with a / and this drop-down menu appears, and you can start adding all these different blocks and elements just to create pretty much whatever you can think of. Anything from text to pages, pages within pages, to-do lists, headings, tables, bulleted lists. Get down here, you start adding all of these like data. You can add in databases, board views, gallery views, calendar views. It just goes on and on. Media, images, video, audio, computer code, files, right? You can start adding in and embedding all these different apps from all over the internet to just basically kind of have this as your central place where you can, it's just like this central production Asana, right? All of these different things can be integrated into this one interface and brought all into one really honed in, organized dashboard. But for the sake of this tutorial, what I'm going to show you is a system that I've created for myself when it comes to content creation and how I've used this system to organize my thoughts from the moment that the thought comes to me, whether I'm out walking around and I document it on my cell phone, to the time I get back to my computer and start fleshing out the idea, and then a content kind of calendar that I use to actually organize the production of, in this case, my YouTube videos, and will eventually be my newsletters and things like that. So let me show you how this system works. All right, so the first thing I like to do, everyone needs, I believe, an inbox to yourself. I call this God's inbox, right? Because this is like the inbox that is like ideas that are coming to you from the divine or whatever you want to call it, but just an inbox to yourself, a place you can capture ideas as they come to you throughout the day. Whether you're just out walking around on your cell phone, I have Notion installed on my cell phone and it synchronizes with my desktop app here. So if I'm out there just like sitting in the park and an idea comes to me and I'm like, oh man, that's a good idea, I can document that here. So I call this inbox. I like to add this little / arrow thing because it's kind of like incoming, right? And the cool thing about a Notion is you can add these little icons that represent what it is for you. And so I like this little fiery heart thing. To me, it's kind of like this passionate little inbox that I have with God, like this incoming flow of ideas. So now we're going to jump over to my actual account, and you can see here I have 5 different pages set up, and I'm going to go over each one of these. My first page, I have current goals, and this is where basically, I'm not going to show you just because I have a lot of personal stuff in there, but this is basically where I go to crystallize my goals for the year. And just like really hone in everything from health and relationships to business goals. And I try to crystallize each section down into just like one solid sentence, right? And then just each area of my life and just have it super honed in. And I can jump in there and kind of tweak things as I go. And I like to start the day just by clicking on this and reviewing my goals. And then I even have kind of an affirmation section that are in line with my goals. that are spoken in the I am statement. And so every day I just start off with that, just like crystal clarity of what I'm doing and where I'm going. And that's what I like to have there. And that just kind of like is a top down hub for everything that's to come from that point. And so next I have the inbox, which you're aware of. I call this God's inbox. And this is just kind of like an inbox to myself. Whenever I have ideas, throughout the day, I just put them here, whether I'm walking around on my cell phone or I'm at my desktop or whatever, I just input my ideas here. And so we'll go ahead and do one just that we're going to actually use it later to take through the process. So let's say we're walking around, we have an idea of like how to reinvent yourself. Maybe we want to make a post or a YouTube video or add it to a chapter in a book or whatever we're creating content wise, we want to add that here. So how to reinvent yourself. Okay. And let's say that's an idea we want to flesh out later and actually create content around. So we put that here. All right. So the next page we're going to explore is the to-do list. All right. And so I want to give you some tips here because this is it can be a really, really potent, place where you can, give yourself clarity on what comes next. But what a lot of people tend to do when it comes to to-do lists is they have, just really big, audacious kind of goals set up, as their to-do list. I like to have my meta goals, the big things that I'm working on in this section here, where it's current goals. Those are kind of like the big chunks, the big blocks that I'm working on. And then here, I like to get in touch with myself and just like feel what is the next thing that I need to do right now to move myself forward. And then how can I break that, goal or task down into even more very tangible tasks that I can do and then check off on my list. For example, before I created this video or creating this video, I created a video template, kind of a script for how that will go. Well, that's been done, so we can check that off. Now we're shooting this video on my Notion workflow. That's what we're doing right now. Once this is done, I'll click this off, and then the next thing up will be edit the video. I'll open Adobe Premiere and I'll start editing the video. After that's done, I'll check it off, and then I'll post it on YouTube, and I'll check in and just like each task, just create a list of like the next 5 or 6 things that you can do right now to move yourself forward towards your big audacious goals. And this is the way to get yourself unstuck and just, get in touch with what it is you're working on right now and just break it down into minute little tangible goals and tasks that you can work on and get done at this moment. Next up is idea generation. And this is where it gets really fun. This is the hub of creativity. This is the place where it all comes together, and it's the central place for all of your ideas to come and just mingle with each other, in a place where you can start fleshing out and developing perspective on all of the stuff that's coming to you, right? So I have 3 places here for ideas. The first one is my content pillars. This is the overall kind of meta perspective of the content pillars that I, like to create content around. So I recommend starting off with like what it is you're passionate about. And this is the cool thing about, being in your 40s is you can kind of look back over your life and just see what kind of books have you read? What do you actually write about most often? Look at your YouTube view history to see what kind of videos you like, just to really spend some time seeing what you're really passionate about. What kind of videos do you watch? What kind of books do you read? What is it that you're always kind of talking about and writing about? And just get those kind of like, break them down into 3 pillars. So like consciousness and polarity, freedom and sovereignty, workflow and purpose. These are like things that I really like. And then from there, you can start to deep dive under each one of those sections to get even more kind of ideas for content creation. So what is around conscious and polarity, like healing, and polarity is like feminine and masculine, and purpose and clarity and leadership and, kingdom and all these kinds of things, and how that all ties in. And then over here, like freedom and sovereignty, and how that ties into like online business. And for me, living in Mexico, and the concept of natural law and sustainability and building your own sanctuary and all those kinds of things. See how kingdom and kingdom kind of tie together in these two. And then like workflow and purpose, right? And just like online workflow and clarity and life's work and all this kind of stuff, focus, and how all of this kind of works together, right? And then each one of these, if you wanted, you could even go in and just like start developing even more clarity and start dragging in imagery and quotes and all that kind of stuff that you collect over the years even, and just have just like a plethora of content to pull from, right? So, and then over here, I've kind of like my online course that I'll be developing, and just kind of the different topics that I'll be talking about there. The second section I have here is organization. And this is basically where, as my ideas come in, I have this place to kind of like this little production line of ideas that I have to pull from. So in addition to all this, I have this kind of like this void is kind of like this basically black hole of ideas. It's like where all of the new ideas come. And so just nothing gets missed. Anything that just I don't know how to categorize it yet, it basically goes into here, and so that I can develop it later, right? And so that's always there. And then the next thing is Readwise. This is an application that synchronizes with your Kindle book, and you go in here, right? And so right now I'm reading this book called Flow, and this other book called Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. And what this app does is it synchronizes every time you like underline the text in a book as you're reading it. It automatically populates over here. Each day it basically populates, it goes in and checks and see what you've underlined in your Kindle, and boom, you have, different underlined sections. And this is just like for you to like, oh, I like that. And I want to like maybe, have that idea to kind of, add as a quote, or just like develop some content around that kind of perspective. I like that. And so just the idea to continue just developing your your database of creativity and ideas. Current situation ideas. This is a really good one. I have it as an I. I won't open this right now, but it's just like basically a perfect place to go in. Just write down the current things that you're going through right now. This is one of the best places to start with content creation. It's just like the core. What are you doing right now? While I'm building a home in Mexico, I can create content around that. Maybe you're having kind of some relationship issues. You can create content around that. Maybe you're getting your second passport. You can create content around that. And that's one of the best ways to start if you're not clear where to start with your content creation. The best place to start is like right here, right now. What is it you're going through? Start with that core of content, and then trust that as you begin to talk about what it is you're doing right now, for example, right now, just like showing you guys my content creation process. This is something I'm going through right now. This is actually in my current situation ideas. That's where I pulled this from. And then I can basically talk about that, create video content on that, and then ideas are going to begin to stem off of that center and begin to expand. So we could be talking about maybe building a home in Mexico, and then that develops into, building your own kind of sanctuary, and then how to, create, sovereignty and freedom. And then you see how that can stem off from like one core idea of what you're experiencing right now, and then it begins to expand. And then eventually you're talking about spirituality, right? All the way starting from like building a home. And so it's all connected. This is the idea. Specific questions. This is where this is a really powerful place. Basically, like we talked about before, this is actually one that I wrote. Remember, we had this over here. I actually did that before, and that's why I put it. But so what I do here with like the inbox, remember we have the inbox. I clear the inbox by taking this, moving it over to idea generation. And then boom, that pops in under our new ideas. And then that's, for here, we can start to categorize this and drop it in. We just want to drop it into the void, so it's there always, or we drop it into specific questions, for example, right? And this is a really good place. I'm just going to delete one of these for clarity, because we already had that one in there. But basically, this is a one that we could take over, for example, to YouTube. Specific questions. This is also a really great place to develop content. Let's say we put this in here, how to reinvent yourself, right? And what you're going to see here is this drop down menu is like common searches that people are searching for. So people will type in how to reinvent yourself. Let's finish with an F. As a woman, how to reinvent yourself in 2022, how to reinvent yourself after 50. These are all common topics that people are actually searching for right now. So if you want to actually get traffic in your YouTube videos, for example, boom, right here, these are like proven high traffic keywords that people are searching for that you could go ahead and create content around. So this is super powerful. So this is a place right here. You can start adding in specific questions, right? And then just like pop those over into the YouTube search bar to see what drops down, to see what people are actually looking for. And then fire ideas. This is where I like to have like core ideas after I go through. So when I want to actually find like, okay, what I'm going to be writing around, I'll just like explore all of this, start kind of brainstorming things, go into the void, check out my current situation ideas, check out current specific, questions, look at what's on YouTube as far as like what's in those drop down menus, and then just things that really talk to me and are like resonating in this moment with what I want to create content around, I'll start dropping those into Fire Ideas. And so my workflow process for Notion, the joy of living in Lake Chapala, Mexico, my plan for finding my voice on YouTube, right? All of these different things. And then, so once I have that, I'm like, cool, this is what I'm going to start talking about and creating content on right now, right? So back over here, we go to idea generation. And then the very next thing is creating perspective. I'm actually not going to go over that in this video. That's something I work on with clients. This is basically where it's a really in-depth process of taking ideas once you have those kind of fire ideas, right? And then we come back over here and then we take them through this. You have this like fleshed out, this creating perspective process that really takes one idea and then just like really fleshes it out. And we start collecting like quotes and backup kind of supporting materials to really, put a lot of meat to that idea and just like flesh it out and really make it your own. And then Batter Up, this is basically a database, a board view that I have connected with my content calendar. So once ideas have made it through the whole kind of production line of creating perspective, they come over here and then I have and so this is right now, this is like my content calendar. So this is to do right now. And basically this, I sent all of, these are the ideas that I'm going to go with right now that were in my Fire Ideas. If you remember, if we go back over here, we go to Fire Ideas. Some of these you'll actually see my workflow process for Notion, joy of living in Lake Chapala, Mexico, my plan for finding my voice on YouTube. Go over here, content calendar. Here they are. Look at my simple workflow in Notion. I went on to Fiverr, found some good artists and things, and just had these thumbnails made. I during my process of kind of learning how to develop these videos, it was recommended that you make your thumbnail first just to really hone in the idea for that video. So you're not going off on these like catwalks and getting distracted. So just like this video is going to be about my simple workflow process in Notion. And so now we're creating that. So we can actually drag that over to in progress because that's what we're doing right now. And these are the ones that are still in the kind of like the hopper, I'll call it, basically the ones that are coming up that I need to create. As soon as this video is done, I can drag it over to the complete folder, right? And we'll just keep doing this. And then I'll start the next one, drop it into in progress, and you can see how that changes, right? So not started. And then as soon as I drag it over here, in progress, and boom, we have this video. We know exactly like the production line of our content as we're creating it, right? So we'll drag this back over here in progress. And so that's the one we're working on right now. If you like this video, you may like this one too, where I talk about how to do your life's greatest work. Please click on the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.